The geological murder mystery, the disappearance of the Paratethys and Paleotethys oceans. The Cassonian crisis, the sudden desiccation of the Paratethys Sea. Approximately 8 million years ago, the Earth's largest epicontinental sea, or inland megalake, experienced an unprecedented catastrophe. Without precursor events such as high-magnitude volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, or violent seismic activities, the water level precipitously dropped by 250 meters. This vast body of water, known in the geological community as the Paratethys Sea, shrank drastically, exposing expansive areas of the lakebed and causing a mass extinction of numerous endemic paleo species. At its peak, the Paratethys Sea covered an area of 2.8 million square kilometers, surpassing the size of the modern Mediterranean. However, during the event geologists refer to as the Cassonian crisis, this colossal marine basin instantaneously lost 70% of its surface area and 2/3 of its water volume. 2. The mechanism of desiccation, tectonic isolation and evaporation. Initially, geologists hypothesized that lithospheric rifting might have drained the seawater into the mantle. This was quickly debunked, as a fissure of that magnitude would have triggered global supervolcanism and catastrophic earthquakes, yet the geological record for this period is eerily quiescent. Further exploration revealed that the Paratethys was not drained, rather, it was effectively sealed. The primary driver was the slow but fatal tectonic compression. The African and Arabian tectonic plates converged northward like a bulldozer, physically severing the Paratethys Sea's final marine corridor to global oceans. Concurrently, the global climate entered an anomalous arid and cold phase. Devoid of oceanic influx and facing drastically reduced fluvial runoff, the Paratethys stagnated. Under intense solar evaporation, salinity levels spiked exponentially, transforming the ocean into a hypersaline basin. Thick evaporite sequences, halite and gypsum deposits, discovered in the desiccated seabed confirmed that the sea essentially evaporated. 3. Ecological catastrophe, endemic evolution and mass mortality. Prior to the severe water level drop, the isolated Paratethys Sea became a laboratory for extreme evolutionary radiation. To adapt to the increasingly shallow and saline environments, marine organisms underwent severe insular dwarfism and morphological specialization. Apex predators like whales evolved into diminutive, dolphin-sized dwarf baleen whales, cetaceans. The ecosystem also gave rise to highly specialized pinnipeds, paleoseals, with bizarre dentition and sirenians, sea cows, adapted to wallowing in hypersaline mud. However, when the 250-meter drop occurred, the resulting extreme hypersalinity disrupted the organism's osmotic pressure regulation. Countless endemic marine mammals perished in the toxic, hypersaline brine. Their skeletal remains accumulated in dense fossiliferous beds beneath what are now the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, forming massive paleobiological burial sites. 4. The ultimate enigma, the subduction of the Paleotethys Ocean. The Paratethys was merely a remnant of its mother ocean, the Paleotethys Ocean, and subsequently the Neotethys, a superocean that spanned the Paleozoic and Mesozoic eras, dominating the globe for hundreds of millions of years. Rewinding to the Permian period over 300 million years ago, the Earth's landmasses were amalgamated into the supercontinent Pangaea. The Paleotethys Ocean filled the massive, sea-shaped embayment of this supercontinent. It was an unfathomably vast, abyssal ocean spanning from the equator to the poles, characterized by turbulent oceanic currents and serving as the cradle for ancient apex predators like Dunkleosteus, giant eurypterids, sea scorpions, and various marine reptiles. Tectonic annihilation and orogeny. How does a superocean completely vanish, leaving virtually no intact oceanic crust? The answer lies in subduction. Around 200 million years ago, Pangaea began to rift. The southern landmass, Gondwana, drifted northward, eventually colliding with the northern Laurasia, forming modern Eurasia. Caught in the middle of this continental convergence was the Tessis Ocean. As the continental plates advanced, the oceanic lithosphere of the Tessis fractured. Because oceanic crust is denser and heavier than continental crust, it cannot buckle upwards during a collision, instead, it is forced to subduct downward. Like a massive geological conveyor belt, the Tessis oceanic crust was relentlessly dragged deep into the Earth's mantle, plunging into temperatures of thousands of degrees. The seawater was expelled under extreme pressure or incorporated into melting magma, while the remains of countless paleomarine giants were completely incinerated in this subterranean furnace. Over tens of millions of years, the Tessis Ocean was incrementally consumed by the Earth's interior. When the Indian plate ultimately slammed into the Eurasian plate, the Tessis Ocean sang its swan song. However, its tectonic demise forged the most spectacular orogenic feature on modern Earth. The immense compressive forces uplifted the very last remnants of the Tethys marine sediments, thrusting them into the stratosphere to form the present-day Himalayas and the Tibetan Plateau. In the macroscopic scale of geological time, measured in tens or hundreds of millions of years, the illusion that mountains and oceans are eternal is shattered. The Earth is in a state of perpetual, dynamic transformation.